Welcome everyone. Today we are going to look into about the Kohlrausch law, electrolysis, cells and its various types. In last video we have seen about the conductors and conductance. Now further moving into this is the Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. Kohlrausch law says that molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution can be expressed as the sum of individual contribution from its individual ions. From this, the value of molar conductivity for different electrolytes can be obtained. In addition, the values of molar conductance will also change with change in concentration. It is found from the study that a straight line graph is obtained for the molar conductivity at definite different concentrations of the strong electrolyte, as we have seen in the last video, where the value of limiting molar conductivity extended to 0 concentration. That means at infinite dilutions. But for weak electrolyte, the graph of molar conductivity at different dilutions of weak electrolyte does not give the straight line, but it gives a curve. So their intercepts obtained are not correct, and the true values of molar conductivity at infinite dilutions cannot be obtained. Therefore, to resolve this problem, Kohlrausch law studied the limiting molar conductivity of some strong electrolytes. He observed some characteristics, namely the difference between the value of limiting molar conductivity of two strong electrolytes like NaX and Kx, where X is any halide, that is mainly Cl, Br and I. It can be concluded from the study that the molar conductivity of strong ionic electrolyte is equal to the sum of the molar ionic conductivity of the positive ion and the molar ionic conductivity of the negative ion. If the electrolyte gives V positive and V negative ions due to dissociations or lambda positive or lambda negative, right, then their molar conductance can be written as follows, where you can see lambda 0 positive and lambda 0 negative are the ionic molar conductivity of positive and the negative ions. From this, we can conclude the Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions as it follows. Molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is the sum of the values of the molar conductivities of positive ion and negative ion present in them. Now, in the use of Kohlrausch law, the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for a weak electrolyte can be obtained by adding or subtracting the values of molar conductivity at infinite dilutions of the solutions of proper strong electrolytes. Now this we can clear it from the next examples that we are going to see it in this video. That is, this is how the applications of Kohlrausch law follows, where we are able to calculate the limiting molar conductivity of the calcium chloride, right, where the molar conductivity of the individual ion is given, and by adding this we are able to calculate the limiting molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Next, this is the examples that we were talking about, that how to calculate the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte with respect to the strong electrolyte by adding or subtracting. So here is the example where we have the NaCl, which is a strong electrolyte, even HCl as a strong electrolyte, and sodium acetate. Okay, next we need to calculate the molar conductivity of acetic acid. Okay, this is your acetic acid. So what is the acetic acid when it will dissociates into ions? That it will be H plus and acetate ion. Now here you can see we do not have any specific conductivity given for individual H plus or individual acetate ion. So we need to take out from these either by addition and followed by elimination. So H and Cl we are adding, that is we have the molar conductivity for HCl as that is 425.9 Simon centimeter square per mole. Even we have for the sodium acetate the value is 91.0. And what about NaCl? NaCl, yes, we have 126.4. And then, okay, so why we are subtracting NaCl? Here you will come to know. That is, okay, here you can know what is this acetic acid. From HCl, we want H plus. Okay, and from sodium acetate, we want this. Now, what is extra? We have an extra Cl and we have an extra as an Na. So, yes, we need to subtract this so that this can be cancelled out. Okay. This can be cancelled out. That is the reason why we are subtracting NaCl so that we can cancel out easily. I hope now it is clear. Next is to be able to calculate the dissociation constant with respect to the Kohlrausch law. Hence, the applications of Kohlrausch law, these are the applications, or we can say the advantages of Kohlrausch law, to be able to calculate the molar conductivity as well as the dissociation constant. So these are the small formulas that you need to remember. This formula is coming, if you can recall, your grade 11th equilibrium chapter, where we have taken law of mass actions. For example, A plus B gives C plus D, and we have calculate in the beginning of the reaction the concentration is A, and then as soon as the reaction is proceeding, then so degree of dissociation, right? This is the formula, how we know what is dissociation constant, where Ka is the acid dissociation constant, Kb will be the base dissociation constant, right? Ke is the equilibrium constant. Next, yes, which is coming the electrolysis. Electrolysis is the process of decomposition of an electrolyte by passing electricity through its aqueous solutions or molten state. This is now a very important topic, as in this, as this year from this chapter there was the question for writing the difference between the electrochemical cell and the electrolytic cell. So this is very much very important, that electrochemical cell, we can say that chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, whereas in electrolytic cell we can say the electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy in this cell. Okay, in electrochemical cell the salt bridge is present, whereas in electrolytic cell no salt bridge is required. Electrochemical cell requires minimum 2 vessels, right, 2 beakers to carry out, and this is taking place in a single vessel only. So examples of electrochemical cells are Daniell cell, galvanic cell, lead storage cell, right, the storage batteries. They are also the example of the electrochemical cell, whereas electrolytic cell is electro-refining, electroplating. These are the examples of the electrolytic cell. Okay, I hope you have understood the basic difference between the electrochemical cell and electrolytic cell. So the process of decomposition of an electrolyte by passing electricity through its aqueous solution or molten state is known as the electrolysis. Now, there are different laws of electrolysis given by Michael Faraday, which is now termed as the Faraday's laws of electrolysis. which are very, very important. Now, based on this as well, there are different numericals that has to be solved. Okay, but that can be coming under as an option between the Nernst equations and the Gibbs free energy. There we calculate the electricity, and this can be taken as an option. Okay, so let us move further with the Faraday's first law of electrolysis, which says that the amount of substance deposited during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. What does it say? जब आपका electrolysis process hota hai, at that moment as well electrodes are dipped in the solution and electricity is passed through it, which helps electrical energy. I mean, as soon as you pass electrical energy, तो क्या होता है? Chemical reaction starts taking place. So, during these chemical reactions, the amount that is deposited onto the electrode, okay, that is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through it. So, it is determined as Q is equals to IT. I repeat, during electrolysis process, that means when electrical energy is passed through a cell, chemical reaction takes place, and as the chemical reaction takes place, the amount of substance get deposited onto the electrodes. So that amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed. मतलब जितनी ज़्यादा electricity pass होगा उतना ज़्यादा amount chemical substance का dissociate होगा और electrodes पे deposit होगा. Next comes the Faraday's second law of electrolysis, which says if same charge is passed through different electrolytes, अगर एक ही amount of charge अलग अलग electrolytes के through pass होगा, then the mass of substance deposited will be proportional to their equivalent weights. Then the mass of the substance, okay, deposited will be proportional to their equivalent weights. Okay, that means if the different electrolytic cells containing different electrolytes are joined in series, right? What is the situation here? If the different electrolytic cells containing different electrolytes are joined in a series, series मतलब right, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E and so on. जैसे हम दिवाली पे series light लगाते हैं, that is called series. And same quantity of electricity is passed through them, then the amount of product obtained at the electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent weight. Equivalent weight किसका? Equivalent weight of product का. Mass किसका? Mass of product. Equivalent weight किसका? Equivalent weight of products. So W1 upon W2, W1 and W2 are the mass of the product, whereas E1 and E2 are the equivalent weight of the product. Okay, then after the establishment of the above Faraday's, I mean these two Faraday's laws, in the starting year of the 20th century, the knowledge about the electronic configuration of the atom was developed, and hence the basic information about redox reaction could be obtained. During this, the concept of mole was also accepted. Hence, the modern presentation of Faraday's law states that the products obtained at the electrodes by oxidation or reduction half reactions have the relations with the moles of the product and stoichiometry of the reaction and the quantity of electricity. I repeat, the products obtained at the electrodes by oxidation. अब product जब electrodes पे obtained होते हैं तो by which chemical reaction? Obviously by redox reaction. That is by oxidation and reduction half reactions have the relation with the moles of the product and stoichiometry of the reaction and the quantity of electricity. Right. We know that is sodium ion accepts 2 electron and forms sodium solid. Even sodium solid will release sodium ion plus electron. So what is the stoichiometric coefficient? It is 1 only. Next, if we look into the products of electrolysis, the products of electrolysis differs with respect to the concentration of the electrolyte. For example, the product of molten NaCl will differ from the product of the dilute aqueous solution of NaCl and will be different from the concentrated solution of NaCl. Here, you can see as it is mentioned, the product of electrolysis depends upon the nature of electrolyte being electrolyzed. As I told you, right, whether it is strong, whether it is aqueous, whether it is concentrated, and of course the nature of the electrons. This is the chemical reaction. This is the electrolysis of molten NaCl. Where you can check that at anode oxidation reaction is taking place, whereas at cathode the reduction reaction is taking place. So due to the oxidation, sodium ion is dissociating, whereas due to the reduction the formation of Cl2 gas takes place. As Na can release only one electron, so you can see Cl will accept the one electron as per the stoichiometric reaction. But to balance the chemical reactions, we need to balance it with respect to the two electrons, because either you can present this formation as Cl minus gives half Cl2 plus electrons, and the electrolysis process takes place in this manner. This is the example where we are using the dilute NaCl. You can see the dilute NaCl is taken place. Okay, where more amount of more concentration is here, right? This is the electrolysis of concentrated solution of NaCl, because Cl2 gas is produced at anode, whereas H2 gas is produced at cathode. Okay, at anode Cl2 gas is produced, whereas at cathode instead of Na it is producing H2 gas. Now we will quickly see why it is so. Now during the electrolysis of concentrated aqueous solution of NaCl between the graphite electrodes takes place by the following reaction as it is given. Now here, as concentration of Cl minus is more in concentrated solution of NaCl, hence Cl minus ions are oxidized at the anode instead of water, and so Cl2 gas is formed. I repeat, as in concentration solution of NaCl, the concentration of Cl minus is more than that of the water molecules. Therefore, Cl2 gas is obtained at anode. Na plus aqueous ion of the solution does not undergo reduction reaction because reduction of water is easier, and that is the reason why H2 gas is obtained at cathode. Now this type of give reason is asked, or MCQ is asked number of times, that why the product varies with respect to the concentration of the solution. Here is the example of electrolysis of water, and again the example of electrolysis of brine solution, that is the NaCl solution only, which is also known as brine solution. Next comes the primary cells. Primary cells, right? These are the cells. Primary cells are the cells that cannot be recharged and used again. Once it is utilized, then it has to be thrown. We cannot use it again and again. So a primary cell is a cell in which electrical energy is produced by the reaction occurring in the cell. So here in this case, these are the type of the electrochemical cell as we have discussed earlier. We have discussed during the electrolysis when we were talking about that what is the basic difference between the electrochemical cell and the electrolytic cell. So these are the examples of again the electrochemical cell. These are the examples of electrochemical cell. And this primary cell means the cells that you are using on the daily basis, that in your toys, TV remote control, AC remote control, right? So these are the primary cells that we are using. Now this is the example of dry cell, and why the dry cell is called as the dry cell, because in this dry cell you can see the electrolyte that is placed in it is not a solution, but it is a paste of MnO2 and carbon, that is manganese dioxide and carbon. And as you can see here that your zinc container, right, the carbon rod is little bit popped up, so that you can easily determine your positive terminal and the negative terminal as well. And your positive terminal is acting as an anode, whereas your negative terminal is acting as an cathode. Okay, and you can check this practically as well by opening your dry cell, that is the battery you are using in your remote. What you can do here is you can take the two batteries, one which is brand new and the other which is used one. By doing so, you will come to know how the paste, right, the how electrolyte is getting used off, and as it is getting used off, the paste becomes dry, it becomes as powdered form, whereas the new battery, if you see, you will find the paste is I mean the soggy paste is there and it is hot enough to touch. This is also an important questions for your MCQs. You need to remember the chemical reactions that are taking place. No need to remember the diagram, but yes, chemical reaction is very much important. Next comes your mercury cell, which are used in your watches, right? Even the light toys, the toys that gives us the light, right? So in those kind of things, these mercury cells are used. Here the electrolyte, it is a paste of potassium hydroxide and zinc oxide. You can see the chemical reactions that are taking place. Yeah, this is the most important cell, which is known as the secondary cells. The secondary cell means the cells that can be recharged by reversing the direction of current. Now there are two examples of these secondary cells, that is lead storage cell and the nickel cadmium cell. Now this is an example of a lead storage cell. You can see here two or more if what is the benefit of the lead storage cell is when two or more cells are joined in series to obtain more voltage which can be recharged are called the storage cell. In the construction of this cell, as you can check into the process that is going on of the lead storage cell, we have a sponge like lead plate and the thin plate of lead on which the layer of lead dioxide is applied, and it is dipped in 38% weight by weight concentration or concentrated sulfuric acid. When these two plates are connected by the conducting wire, the following reactions are taking place. That is, you can see at anode as well lead sulfate is formed, whereas at cathode as well the lead sulfate is formed. Now lead sulfate produced here remains stuck to the surface of the electrodes. The cell potential of this cell is about 2 volt. When the cell is in operation, the density of sulfuric acid solution in reaction decreases. I repeat, when the cell is in operation, the density of sulfuric acid solution in reaction decreases. In the beginning, the density of solution is 1.25 to 1.30 gram per milliliter. But when the cells stop producing electric current, the density of the solution decreases and comes to 1.10 to 1.15 gram per milliliter. If the cells is joined to a high electrical voltage containing any cell and passing the electric current in opposite direction, the reverse reaction takes place on the electrode and again the cell becomes capable to produce electric current. Even then, the efficiency of the method to regenerate is not 100%. Hence, at every intervals or at intervals, solution of sulfuric acid containing 38% weight by weight concentration is to be added, so that after a long time use this cell becomes useless. But to continue more usage of this cell, we can add on the sulfuric acid solution, which is acting as an electrolyte. Now, one vessel of this lead storage cell produces 2 voltage of current. So, if you want more amount of current to be produced, you can connect this lead storage cell in series and can produce your required amount of voltage. So, it is very useful. Next come the fuel cell. This is excellent cell, which is also known as the hydrogen fuel cell. In a vessel, two porous carbon membranes are arranged and concentrated aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide is filled between them. These membranes work as inert electrodes. Platinum is used for electrode acting as anode, and mixed powder of platinum and silver oxide is used as a catalyst in the electrode, which act as cathode. You can see in this how the chemical reaction is taking place. Your red ball represent hydrogen, blue oxygen, green proton and yellow electron. You can check it here that when the electric current is passed, how the chemical reaction takes place. On passing hydrogen gas from anode and oxygen gas from cathode, the reaction takes place at the electrodes and electric current is produced. That it is at anode, 2H2 gas plus 4OH gives 4 water molecules and 4 electrons. Now this is how we have tried to balance the chemical reactions. Okay. Theoretically, the efficiency for the production of electricity by this step is 100%. But really, the efficiency obtained experimentally is about 70 to 75%. The potential of this cell is about 1.23 voltage. Here as well, you have a benefit that if you want to produce more amount of voltage, you can connect this cell as well in series. The basic advantage of this cell, now this is very important because this year, even last year as well, and last year as well, the question was asked to give the advantages of fuel cell. So this is the question which is repeated every year. Air is not polluted by fuel cell. Again, it does not create sound and possesses very high efficiency in comparison to electricity produced by thermal power station. This type of cell is used in space shuttle program Apollo carried out by American scientists. In addition, the vapor of water obtained during cell reaction was cooled and was used for drinking purpose. The use of such fuel cell is increasing day by day in the foreign countries and even in India as well. I hope you have understood the different types of these cells that are used in our daily life. Please go through this chapter and note down the important chemical reactions and the formula that will be useful to answer your exercise questions as well as your in-text questions. Good day, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned.